Dr. Rao, because you are in Bengaluru, and in Bengaluru, interestingly, children in the last few days, cases have risen, but the numbers still in relative terms of Karnataka remain well below the proportion of population of children between 2 and 18. Do you believe that there are risks in opening up schools, or this is a risk worth taking?
Good evening, Rajdeep. I think from our perspective, and if you look at global data, this is the right time to open schools. This doesn't have a right or a perfect wrong answer, but as a balanced perspective to it. And what you need to consider here is to look at the gaps and the disproportionate consequences that the disadvantaged groups have had in this country of children, especially with child labor in the rural region, to child marriages, to a lot more of runaway children. They're having a very deep impact.
So obviously, if you see the rural and urban divide among children, I think the rural children have been the ones that have suffered the most.
Sure, no, I'll come to that. I'll come to that in a moment with Dr. Banerjee. I just want to understand from a medical perspective, do you believe it is safe to open up schools? Do you believe it's a risk worth taking? Globally, the record is mixed. There are countries like the United States, 94,000 children tested positive last week after schools reopened. Children account for 15% of COVID-19 cases at the moment in the United States. Are you concerned or not, Dr. Rao?
Obviously, the numbers will always be a concern, but what's important here is the WHO and the UNICEF came out with a joint statement clearly indicating, and even the Lancet Commission has come out with this from the Indian Task Force, talking about it, that children in the early, younger age groups are not carriers and do not heavily transmit the virus. The children in the older age groups could be. But having said that, the mortality has been dismal, and these children are not the children, if you don't open a school, who are just sitting at home and not interacting. The emphasis here is when you open schools, you're opening it for education and not for social and entertainment activities, but you're opening it for education.
Let's come to that. Let's come to that specifically. We've discussed just briefly the medical aspects. Let's look at the education fallout, because this is about cost benefit at the end of the day. Dr. Banerjee, your group Pratham has looked at this question. It was briefly mentioned just now, the widening gaps between rural and urban, but even the fact that children deprived of 18 months of education, the impact that that can have on specific subjects, particularly mathematics, for example, is what is being cited in surveys. Do you believe, therefore, the benefits of having physical classes outweigh the risks that may come with COVID-19?
So, Rajdeep, obviously, the medical angle is not something I can comment on. But I think there are a couple of points to think about. One is that when schools opened, when schools shut last year in March, it was completely without any warning, without any time to prepare for what was going to happen. And so if there is a window right now in which we can come back and plan for eventualities, I think we should take that opportunity. In rural India, a bulk of children, millions of children, have not really had the benefit of any kind of online education. At most, the state governments or even the private schools have been able to send, little WhatsApp messages or SMS, which may be okay for just remaining connected or engaged, but certainly cannot be a huge impact on learning. So I believe that we should opening of schools does not need to be a black and white, like turning on a switch. The first thing which several state governments have done, Punjab has done, Delhi has done, several others have done, is to first have class by class meetings of teachers and parents, because this is often a very local, occurrence when cases go up. And therefore you need to have a plan. And I think in any case, parents and teachers getting together to discuss plans ahead is a good thing. Second is, I think we need to be prepared for three types of situations, and it's going to be a fluid situation for some months to come, I'm sure. One is there's complete lockdown, you can't do anything. Second is there is limited mobility, you can move around in your mohalla or in your village or in your community, but really not travel too much. And third is when everything is possible. We need to have plans, school by school, class by class, age by age, for what to do under these situations. Because I think we are going to have to face them. When schools closed last March, there was no time to plan. But now every school, every district has had some time to think about that. last thing I want to say is that I was on today on a Zoom call with many kids from different places, including kids from Bangalore. And I asked them, because I knew you would ask me, what do children think? Overwhelmingly, they said, we want to go back to school so that we can reconnect.